Hi, welcome to the Women Talk Construction podcast. I'm here today with Angela Gardner, my co-host, and Lauren Kraemer with Arco Murray. We're really excited about this conversation today. Lauren is a new mom with an 8-month-old little girl at home. She's from Texas. She travels all over the country and does some pretty amazing things with design build. We're really excited to start talking with Lauren today about what she's doing and where she's going and how inclusive her company is and how empowering they are for her as an individual. Thank you, Lauren, for joining us today. Can you start off by just telling us a little bit about you and what you do?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's awesome to be here. I really appreciate it. And I know we're all really passionate about this topic. So, my name is Lauren Kraemer. I'm Vice President and Principal at Arco Murray Design Build. We are a single source design build general contractor. And basically, what that means is that we get to take projects from the very beginning to final completion, and I get to have my hands in everything. So it's a lot of fun, and I get to wear a lot of hats. But I lead our tenant solutions team in Dallas. So focus on office, industrial, manufacturing, so many different product types around construction. And again, just being involved in the design side and the build side, I really enjoy it. So
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. And you just recently got promoted or asked to lead this part of your company. That's pretty cool.
yeah, thank you. It's been a whirlwind of a career, really. And I've only been at, I've only been at Arco. I interned there after my junior year in college and started there full time because interviewing with other construction companies around the country, nothing quite sounded like the amount of responsibility and opportunity that I was exposed to over my internship. And it
Mm,
has proven really true. So I was a project manager right off the bat when I graduated college. A lot of responsibility. I made a lot of mistakes. I learned a lot, but I got to run projects as a project manager all across the country
Hmm.
from day one. And
nice.
after about 3 years, worked my way into a director of accounts role where I got to lead a team, our team, to focus on consistency of the design build delivery method for a lot of our local and national clients. And then in 2018, my boss asked if I was interested in moving to Dallas to start our tenant solutions team. And
Mm,
I thought about it for a while, but eventually decided to take the risk and make the jump. And I'm very happy that I did.
yay. Take
Yeah,
that leap, right? That's what
right.
one of our last guests said.
Yes.
So we have a lot of women that are listening that might be thinking about transitioning into our world, construction,
Yes.
skilled trade. And then we have hopefully a lot of career center students, females listening. Could you share, y- you know, you shared with us already about how you moved within your company and you got started, but share with us a little bit more about becoming the first female principal because that they need to hear this message that they can do it too,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah. I I do love that question because I didn't really think that I was ready to move down to Dallas and start a team. I thought about it for a long time. And I think it's a problem that many of our women face either getting into this industry or
Mm-hmm.
taking that next leap, asking for that promotion. Because I didn't think I was ready. My boss actually had to say, "You can do this. We're going to support you. It's not going to go perfect, but we're going to figure it out. And there's a really awesome opportunity there." And once I convinced myself that I didn't have to be perfect, I didn't have to know it all before I made the jump, leaning on
Right.
the resources that I had in Chicago and the awesome mentorship that I had in Chicago, decided, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. Let's try it. What can go wrong? And I mean, you read about how men, they'll put their name out there for a promotion if they think they're 70% qualified, and women will wait until they're 110%.
Yeah.
But uh, it was nice to know that my mentor saw that potential in me and pushed me out there. So it's been great. I've grown
And so
so
your
much.
mentor is a male, right?
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
we need to hear more of that because they are out there and they
Mm-hmm.
yes,
are supporting us, and that's super
yes,
cool. Thank you.
yes. Of course. Yeah. I mean, I was recruited by a male partner at the firm. I was mentored by a male partner at our firm. And now I have an awesome new set of mentors down in Dallas that are all male, because it is predominantly male. And now I'm trying to be that mentor and uh, hopefully help other women see that it is possible to attain that leadership status as a female in this world.
Yeah, and women make really good mentors for boys, say young men and young ladies as well.
Totally agree.
So I love that. Your story is pretty amazing. In the construction industry, we tend to have to pivot based on many things every day, and sometimes every moment of the day. So tell us a little bit about some of your pivotal lessons that you've learned during your career in construction.
Wow. I know we don't have that long. So I think every year there's been just some key piece of information that I've walked away with based on how that year has gone. And a lot of it's very positive. A lot of it has pushed me outside of my comfort zone and just making me realize that I can do it. But a lot of that comes down to making some mistakes with managing people and learning from that lesson, and when to lean in and make sure that they've got everything they need, when to just let a project manager make that mistake and have that go through that problem finding process. But what I focus on is lessons learned. If you make a mistake, I don't care. Try not to make it again, but let's talk about it. Let's improve it. We always talk about continuous improvement and innovating. So I try to share my mistakes so every team or every member of our team knows that that's okay. And we actually have a team meeting where all we talk about is things we've messed up. So that's a
Nice.
huge part of our ability to keep innovating and keep improving and make sure that if we have one project manager run into an issue, the next won't make the same mistake.
And you really can't learn from perfectionism, can you?
No, yeah,
Can't learn anything. Yeah, and there is no such thing. It's just a coat that we wear when we think that we're going to be perfect, or we want to be perfect, or we want to look perfect. So thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I was reading an article the other day where population in South Carolina and Texas is booming. It's one of the top states amongst some others. I think Florida and some others. But with that said, you're attracting people to your area, and so your company, probably has a lot of projects coming up in the upcoming year. Are there new markets or projects you're targeting? And also, I want to add a little caveat about, because when you do that, you also have to attract people because you have to hire, because, of course, you've got some that are probably retiring, some that just figured out, oh, this isn't for me. And or if you're building your company, you have to keep hiring people. So how are you working all that and navigating all that together?
It's a lot, but it's a lot of fun. But you are so right. One of the hardest parts of my job is finding that talent. And we are picky. We hire the best and the brightest people. We hire engineers to be project managers. And again, we're hiring people right out of college to be project managers. So we do want to maintain that best and brightest talent. And then really, it's pretty simple. We take care of that talent, and then they take care of our clients, and our clients keep coming back.
And you grow as a company, right? All these cool projects.
Exactly. So that growth is really organic. We have so many situations where we do a construction project for a client, and then that client takes us to the next one and the next one.
Right.
We switch companies and then pull us in with that group. And then suddenly we're working for that client all across the country. And we've just built our network organically in that fashion. So we are opening another office this year in Fort Worth, just 40 minutes away. But then also just expanding our product types and continuing to hone in on our expertise in a lot of different areas of the market and a lot of different product types. So it's a very entrepreneurial group. And I mean, I'm
you're open to anything, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's really just building those relationships. I mean, a lot of our partners are under 40 years old. So
nice.
It's a young, growing company.
So what are your favorite projects?
I I have a few that I think of from a product type level. I think when I do think about which projects I enjoy the most, though, it's the ones that did actually provide the biggest challenge for me, especially early on in my career as a young project manager. I learned a lot through doing the tougher jobs early on, and not saying no to those. And then I think the best projects that you think of are the one where everyone's appreciative of all the hard work that everyone's putting into a job, and the ones where you really become friends with the client that you're working with.
So what I was asking, that's an awesome answer. But what I was asking is it healthcare? Is it manufacturing? Is it multifamily? You're not doing any residential? Is that correct?
I'm not.
Okay.
We do have a multifamily group, but we primarily focus on any commercial construction.
Commercial.
I do enjoy manufacturing jobs, industrial deals, and anything with slightly more complexity to it. So the life science deals are fun too.
Yeah. Well, those are definitely challenging. That's why I was curious. You love a challenge, so I knew it probably was something a little more complicated, which is industrial and manufacturing, right? Angela knows. So
That's our world, yeah.
Sorry about that. So navigating a male populated industry can be challenging, and we talk about this a lot on the podcast with a lot of folks, but it's also rewarding. I loved it. 32 years in the industry, and I've absolutely loved the people that I meet and the people that I get to work with every day, customers and colleagues. Can you tell us some of the challenges you faced and the support systems and resources that you used when you did face a challenge?
Yeah. I definitely leaned on the mentors that I had at my company whenever I did run into a challenge. And again, we hire really great people. So I leaned on my superintendents, on our really built up subcontractor base. I asked a lot of questions, admitted my mistakes, just leaned on the resources around me. So I was the first female project manager at Arco, and now we have female project managers across all of our offices, which is really cool. In one of our offices, they actually outnumber the males, which is awesome.
It is.
But as we've grown, we've recognized that we need to provide that internal support and a mentorship program and just a way for our women to be able to network with each other and understand that everyone's kind of going through a lot of the same issues, and it's okay to have doubt and it's okay to have a lack of confidence, but let's improve it. So we actually have a monthly meeting where all of our women can hop on, and we either talk about some sort of soft skill or lesson learned, or where we're at in the market right now, some educational piece, or just networking and talking about different issues that we're running into, situational exercises. And I think that platform has allowed for all of our women to see and connect with each other. I also think outside of that Arco Murray provides a lot of good family support, because you don't want your women to, because of them being a new mom. And as a new mom, I was very thankful for the fully paid maternity leave that I had last year. I think there are a lot of different pieces to making sure that our women stay in the industry.
So this is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that there are no formal programs. Arco Murray is just building an excellent culture that everybody wants to work there. Is that true?
That is true. We have built this call to call it the Women Operations Network. So we have
awesome
structure and formality to it. But it has grown kind of organically.
Yeah. But you've done everything organically, right? Yes. There's so many folks out there that are like, hey, what do I do? Give me a checklist and let's do it. Where you guys have built a culture that has included everyone, and everyone's felt so comfortable. And now you have locations that there are more females than there are males. And I love that, because I think that sometimes people try to put too much emphasis on the policies and procedures and these, ERPs and a program, when all it takes is a little bit of let's support each other, right? Yeah. Let's just do the thing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I love that. Go Arco Murray. I'm just going to say I'm really excited about what they're doing. And to me, organic is real, right? And the culture becomes part of, the experience when you walk in as a client, when you walk in as an employee. The culture creates revenue.
Yeah.
Not just revenue. It creates the best people. And all of you who are highly educated and experienced that are getting out of college, if you haven't thought about going to work for Arco Murray, you better be thinking about it today. So thank you for that. Thank you for sharing.
Of course. Appreciate the plug.
Well, yeah, that
I think it's also just that platform has allowed us to realize that we don't need to be perfect.
Yeah.
We know we're not. So building up that confidence across our young women has been really cool to see, even over the last 5 years.
do you let your men participate in some of those meetings as well, or is it usually just the women?
We've pulled a few of them in to give either
Yeah.
a training or like some sort of educational piece or talk about the market. And it is cool because they then get to hear the questions and interact with a
Yeah.
lot of our women that they don't get to all across the country. So that's very cool. And then we do have a Women in Construction Week event that we host every year where we have female panelists, but then often we have male moderators. So actively a part of that dialogue, and I think the symbolism too of having a male actively promoting and being interested in the stories that these women have to share of their experience in the construction industry is just makes the event really cool every year. So
Well, seeing as though your episode will be aired sometime around Women's Month, which is
yeah.
pretty cool,
Yes.
what initiatives and strategies do you believe are essential for fostering, that inclusive environment at your company in the construction industry? And maybe share with us even some of the cool reactions of your men that have actually participated and heard. I don't know if they ever shared with you, wow, we heard this and now we know we need to do this. Like it was an eye opener for them. Because I definitely think that you're already doing all this and just
Mhm.
how does that look?
We have gotten some really cool reactions from the Women in Construction Week panel for the men that have attended. And one of them, we actually had breakout sessions where there was a question posed out to the audience and then everyone talked across their tables. And I had a couple male leaders in our organization say there wasn't enough time. We wanted to keep talking about it. So that was really cool. And then
that is
actually
cool.
from some of the situational exercises, because, we all run into the occasional not very well thought out comment made by someone on a construction site. It happens, like things like that. Just talking through how to respond in those situations and then sharing that with our male leaders and operators across the business. That has gotten some responses like, wow, I would have never thought that
That's
happened.
incredible.
I know.
Yeah,
how
they
to
don't
respond to
realize
it.
sometimes what they're just saying, how it impacts another person. And
And it's incredible that you can talk about it openly.
Yes.
That's incredible.
yes.
Yeah, we get some really good support. So it's very much appreciated. And it's why I'm still here too. And I
Well,
do
you're
love
here. You're there for many reasons.
Yes,
Yeah.
obviously. Obviously. So glad that you reached out to us and wanted to be on the podcast. So, all right, let's talk a little bit about your personal life now.
Yeah.
So, you are a mom with an 8-month-old at home, right?
Yes.
You work in the construction industry, which all of us that are listening today understand how fast paced that life is. And sometimes you don't even get a second to go to the bathroom during the day. It's how it is. It still is that way no matter what role you're in our industry. And, you obviously are striving for more personal and professional development. You want to be better. That's what we hear in your message today. How do you balance? Okay, so we all know that there's no such thing as balance, right? Like every day, there's not a work-life balance. It ebbs and flows based on what's going on in your life. But how do you keep up with all those demands? And is there something that you really enjoy doing that helps ground you in a day that everybody's coming at you at the same time, personally and professionally?
Yeah. My first answer to keeping up with it all is that I probably don't. But figuring out how to prioritize and leaning on my team to help. But what grounds me every day is that I do recognize that I need to work out in some form or fashion every morning. It might only be for 15 minutes, but it's something. I need to move or I will go nuts after a couple days. And I do give everything while I'm at work.
Mm-hmm.
I try not to let myself get distracted with personal things unless, something happens, as you both know it does.
Mhm.
But then after I get home with my daughter and my husband's home, we have a solid hour and a half before she crashes that it's no phones, it's no TV. We are just hanging out with her, having dinner, playing with her, because that's really the biggest or the most time we have with her every day. And then maybe it's going back to the computer and trying to catch up, or maybe it's reading or trying to get some sleep. But that hour and a half is where I'm very committed to being present with her every day.
Oh, that's cool.
That's incredible.
Yeah, yeah.
Trying.
Yes. Well,
Yeah. At least you have a plan, right? Like you try
Yeah.
to stay true to what you know is best for you and your family.
Yeah.
It's not always going to look perfect. Like you said, we're not perfect.
No. And it's hard. It's definitely hard to manage it all, but I think knowing that there are other women out there that have done this, and the construction industry is hard in general. You've had to learn
Mm-hmm.
how to be outside of your comfort zone. I've had to learn how to be outside of my comfort zone for 10 plus years now. So this is just another thing. We'll work through it.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
We live outside our comfort zone, don't we?
Exactly.
In this industry. It's like when you get in a comfort zone, it's like, there's got to be something else, right? It's like we're bored or something.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it does help incredibly when your company is supportive of
Mhm.
all of that as well.
Yeah.
And we're so excited to hear that you have that. So we're going to wrap it up today. So why don't you share how our audience can get in touch with you?
LinkedIn's probably the best. Lauren Kraemer, Arco Murray. Just shoot me a message. I'd love to connect.
Great. Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. We hope you have been inspired by Lauren's story and insights.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was inspired.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you.
Well, stay tuned for more events, stories, and opportunities. Until next time, keep building, inspiring, and cultivating opportunities. And watch out for her episode in Women in Construction Month.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you so much for having me. You guys
Thank
are
you,
awesome.
Lauren, for being with us today and sharing your story.